In a world where maps declare sovereignty, the simple act of drawing a line can ignite international tensions and reshape the destinies of nations. Borders on paper become battlegrounds in reality, and every new map is a statement of power, identity, and intent. For centuries, the lines that divide land and sea have been sources of both conflict and cooperation, but rarely has a single map carried such weight as the one recently unveiled by the Philippines. The Philippines has boldly redrawn its maritime boundaries, stepping into the global spotlight with a declaration that reverberates far beyond its shores. This is not just a technical adjustment or a bureaucratic update. It is a powerful assertion of national sovereignty and a direct challenge to the status quo in one of the world's most contested regions. By officially naming its waters the West Philippine Sea, the Philippines is staking a claim not only to territory, but to history, resources, and the right to determine its own future. This new designation is more than a label. It is a rallying cry for a nation determined to defend its maritime rights. This act directly challenges China's sweeping territorial claims, which have long dominated the South China Sea and unsettled neighboring countries. The Philippines' move shakes the geopolitical landscape, forcing the world to pay attention to a simmering conflict that could have far-reaching consequences. The South China Sea is not just a regional concern, it is a vital artery for global trade, with trillions of dollars worth of goods passing through its waters every year. Beneath the surface lie rich reserves of oil, gas, and fish, making control over these waters a prize that many nations covet. The stakes are high, and the world is watching. The Philippines' new map forces the international community to confront a fundamental conflict: the clash between legal rights, as defined by international law, and the historical ambitions of powerful nations. Diplomats, legal experts, and world leaders now find themselves drawn into a debate that tests the very foundations of the global order. This move escalates a long-standing struggle against China's controversial 9-line, a sweeping claim that cuts deep into the maritime heart of Southeast Asia. For years, this line has been a flashpoint for protests, diplomatic standoffs, and even confrontations at sea. Yet, in 2016, an international tribunal in The Hague delivered a landmark ruling, invalidating China's expansive claim and affirming the Philippines' rights under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Despite this legal victory, the struggle for recognition and enforcement continues. The new map is more than a document, it is a statement of intent, a visual declaration that the Philippines will not back down. It is a symbol of resilience and a call to action for its people and allies. This bold step is rallying international support and fueling a surge of national pride. Across the Philippines, citizens see the map as a unifying symbol, while leaders seek to build alliances and strengthen their position on the world stage. Of course, this move is not without risk. It has provoked strong reactions from China, raising the stakes in an already tense region. But for the Philippines, the hope is that this bold action will galvanize global attention and support for a just resolution. To truly understand the significance of this moment, we must explore the historical roots of the dispute, the legal battles fought in international courts, and the confrontations, both diplomatic and military, that have defined the struggle for control over these waters. This story unfolds not only in the halls of diplomacy, but also on the turbulent waters of the West Philippine Sea, where Coast Guard vessels and fishing boats navigate a complex web of claims and counterclaims. As the world watches, the lines drawn on this map may well determine the future of peace, security, and cooperation in the region and beyond. The Philippines' new map challenges China's 9-line, a claim rooted in historical rights. This line overlaps with the exclusive economic zones of several countries, including the Philippines. China's actions, like land reclamation and military outposts, assert its claims. For the Philippines, this line threatens sovereignty and economic security. The 9-line is seen as expansionism, disregarding international law. This perception drives the Philippines to assert its rights. In 2013, the Philippines took a bold step on the world stage, formally challenging China's sweeping claims in the South China Sea under international law. This move was not just a legal maneuver, but a courageous assertion of national rights in the face of a much larger power. The stakes were high, as the disputed waters are rich in resources and vital for global trade, making the outcome significant not only for the Philippines, but for the entire region. In 2016, after years of legal proceedings, an international tribunal in The Hague delivered a historic ruling. The court invalidated China's expansive 9-line, declaring it had no legal basis under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. For the Philippines, this was a landmark legal victory, affirming its maritime rights and setting a precedent for other nations facing similar disputes. However, China outright dismissed the tribunal's decision, refusing to recognize its authority. Instead, China continued its activities in the South China Sea, building artificial islands, expanding its military presence, and asserting control over contested waters. This defiance sent shockwaves through the international community, raising questions about the effectiveness of international law when powerful nations choose to ignore it. The situation highlights a fundamental challenge. While international law can provide clarity and justice, its enforcement depends on the willingness of nations to comply. The Philippines' legal victory exposed the limitations of global institutions in compelling compliance, especially when geopolitical interests are at stake. Despite these obstacles, the ruling remains a powerful diplomatic tool for the Philippines. It serves as a foundation for ongoing negotiations and a rallying point in international forums, allowing the Philippines to assert its rights and seek support from other countries. The current government has made it a central part of its foreign policy, leveraging the tribunal's decision to push back against China's maritime ambitions. By invoking the ruling, Philippine leaders reinforced their commitment to upholding international law and protecting national sovereignty. The release of a new official map is a visible and symbolic expression of this pushback. It clearly marks the country's maritime boundaries, challenging China's claims and asserting the Philippines' rights in the disputed waters. This act transforms a legal win into a powerful statement of national identity and pride. It rallies the Filipino people around a shared cause and demonstrates the country's resolve to defend its territory. On the global stage, the Philippines continues to seek international support, building alliances and encouraging other nations to uphold the rule of law in the region. The new map stands as a bold statement of sovereignty, a reminder that, even when landmark decisions are ignored, the fight for justice and national dignity endures. The unveiling of the new Philippine map marks a pivotal moment in the nation's history, a bold and strategic shift that goes beyond cartography. By redrawing its boundaries, the Philippines is making a clear statement to the world. It is determined to assert its national rights and protect its maritime interests. This map is not just a document, it is a symbol of sovereignty, a visual declaration that the country will stand firm in the face of external pressures and competing claims. By officially naming the waters the West Philippine Sea, the Philippines is reclaiming the narrative and reshaping how the world views this contested region. This act is more than a change in terminology. It is a powerful assertion of identity and ownership, challenging long-standing conventions and international perceptions. The new label is a reminder to both Filipinos and the global community that these waters are an integral part of the nation's heritage and future. The map's clear delineation of the Exclusive Economic Zone, or EEZ, reinforces the landmark 2016 International Tribunal ruling that affirmed the Philippines' maritime entitlements. By visually highlighting these boundaries, the map educates the public and the world about the extent of the country's rights over its surrounding seas, fisheries, and resources. It is a tool for both diplomacy and education, making complex legal victories accessible and understandable. Unlike diplomatic notes or verbal protests, this map serves as a tangible, visible claim, one that is much harder for other nations to ignore or dismiss. In government meetings and international forums, it becomes a focal point for discussion, negotiation, and, if necessary, confrontation. The map's presence on official documents and in diplomatic exchanges gives weight to the Philippines' position, making its claims more concrete and undeniable. For ordinary Filipinos, the new map is a source of national pride. It is being used in schools to teach children about their country's maritime rights, fostering a sense of ownership and responsibility among the next generation. Community events and national celebrations now feature the map as a symbol of unity, reminding everyone of the importance of defending the nation's interests and understanding its place in the world. The release of the map comes at a time of escalating confrontations at sea, with frequent standoffs between Philippine vessels and foreign ships in disputed waters. It also coincides with the strengthening of alliances, as the Philippines works closely with partners to safeguard its maritime domain. Joint military exercises and new defense agreements underscore the seriousness of the situation and the country's resolve to protect its territory. This map is just one part of a broader, multi-layered strategy. The Philippines is leveraging legal victories, engaging in high-level diplomatic negotiations, and enhancing its military capabilities. Each of these efforts supports the others, creating a comprehensive approach to defending national interests and upholding international law. In this complex puzzle of regional security and geopolitics, the map is a crucial piece. It helps planners, policymakers, and citizens visualize the stakes and understand the strategies at play. The map's layers, legal, diplomatic, and military, work together to form a robust defense of the nation's territory and future. Ultimately, the new Philippine map is about more than lines on paper. It is a rallying point for national unity, a tool for education, and a statement of intent in foreign policy. By redrawing its world, the Philippines is charting a course toward a more secure and assertive future. Digital maps are a new frontline in territorial disputes. Google Maps updated its platform, making the West Philippine Sea label more visible. This change was seen as a symbolic victory for the Philippines. It lent digital legitimacy to their naming convention. China's response was dismissive, reiterating its claims. The incident highlights the role of tech companies in geopolitical conflicts. Their decisions can have diplomatic consequences. The digital landscape remains a contested battleground. The Philippines' new map is part of this broader informational campaign. The battle for perception continues online. China's response to the new map is swift and uncompromising. Diplomatic protests and map seizures are part of its strategy. Recently, Chinese customs seized maps omitting the 9-dash line. This enforcement is an ideological project, reinforcing territorial ambitions. It contrasts with the Philippines' legal assertion of rights. The map seizures reflect China's refusal to accept the 2016 ruling. It's a power play to align reality with geopolitical goals. The West Philippine Sea is a hotspot for confrontations. Chinese and Philippine vessels frequently clash, risking wider conflict. China's gray zone strategy uses Coast Guard and militia to assert control. Recent incidents highlight the aggressive nature of these encounters. The U.S.-Philippine alliance adds complexity, deterring aggression but risking escalation. The sea remains the most dangerous front in this dispute. The Philippines' stance against China fuels nationalism and pride. The West Philippine Sea symbolizes sovereignty and resistance. The new map reflects this renewed national pride. Economically, the stakes are high, with vital trade routes at risk. The dispute affects food security and energy resources. The Philippines strengthens alliances with the US, Japan, and Australia. This strategy creates a counterweight to China's power. The regional dynamic is polarized, challenging ASEAN's unity. The South China Sea is a geopolitical fault line. The South China Sea dispute is a global concern. It's a test of whether international law or force governs relations. The 2016 ruling was a victory for the rules-based order. China's rejection challenges this order, setting a dangerous precedent. The sea is crucial for global trade, affecting economic stability. The Philippines' new map is a plea for global attention. It's a story of sovereignty and international law. The world must decide if law or power governs the seas. The answer will define the 21st century. The lines on the map are a challenge to the world.